So when we started homeschooling, it was kind of a test to see how it would work. But then we continued. We're going to tell you about why we continued, so just stick around. Hey, welcome back to our second video on this channel that we're starting called Molding Our Monkeys. If you missed our first video, the link will be in the description. You can either go back and watch that right now and then start this one, or if you have some questions after this video, go ahead and we'd love it if you'd watch that video and subscribe to the channel. We want to share a little bit of our journey in homeschooling, and we'd love it if you would be interested in coming along with that. If you have questions that come up as we kind of go through this, throw those in the comments, and we'd love to engage with you there. Last time we talked about why we started homeschooling. Today we want to talk about why we continue to homeschool. So one of the reasons we continue to homeschool is that we wanted that individualized learning. We talked about that a little bit, that Stephanie had experienced that in the public school in her job when she got out of college, that she had been doing a lot of individualized learning. And we were realizing that, man, that was working good for our kids to be able to focus on the things that they're at and where they're at, and make sure that the learning and that the education that we were presenting to them was definitely focused on them, on how they learn, on what things really engage their minds and get them excited, and are the ways, because not everybody learns the same way.
Right.
I mean, you and I are a great example. We don't learn at all alike.
No.
Our brains don't work the same way at all. And our kids are that way too. Mm-hmm. They learn differently. So we liked that idea of, if we homeschool, we're not stuck into everybody learning the exact same way. That's kind of the freedom. It's not school. We don't have to make it like school. Right. So that's kind of that's one of the first reasons that we got going with it. So yeah.
The second reason is we want to be active in our children's education. We want to be able to see them grow academically. You know, I didn't want to get a note from the teacher saying, "Hey, Emily did really awesome at this today." No, I want to be able to see that. I want them sitting across the table from me and be able to see their face light up when they finally get a concept that was difficult. Yeah. Or be able to say, you know, I see that you're struggling with this, instead of just having to be told by someone else. That it's just that look of joy when they get it.
Yeah, it's a real thing.
Yeah, or being able to give them a hug when they're upset.
Yeah. Because
it's hard. Because it is hard.
Yeah. If it's not hard, you're probably doing something wrong.
Right. You're not stretching them. You're not growing them.
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
So another reason, maybe, I don't know if we'll call it number 3, or if it's at least it's third on the list that we made today, was we wanted to have some control over the environment. And I don't mean this to be a knock on the public school system, but the reality is that there are plenty of kids that we don't necessarily think, especially at a young age, we necessarily need our kids to be involved in. We wanted to have some control over the environment that they're in. We are trying to mold our monkeys. We're not raising our kids to be kids. We're raising our kids to be adults. We're wanting to be able to mold that early environment, to have some control there, to be able to intentionally put them in the position to have the right kind of relationships that they need to have early on in their life, and to have those friendships that are positive, and maybe avoid some of the negative ones. Now, we can't control everything, and they're going to have negative relationships, and they're going to have to learn how to deal with the people that maybe they shouldn't be friends with. But we wanted to be able to have some control over that part of the environment. So that's another reason.
We also wanted to have control over when our kids got introduced to certain things.
Yeah.
There's topics that come up in the public school system that seem to be coming up earlier and earlier. Yeah. And while that may be okay for one student or one of our children, it may not be okay for the next. And we want to be able to decide when our kids are ready to learn about sensitive topics. And that's not going to be the same for each one of our kids.
No.
And so we just want to be able to explain to them at their level, when they're ready, those topics that are maybe a little bit more sensitive than others.
Yeah, yeah. Another thing that we wanted to do was our faith. Our big part of our life is the fact that we're Christians. And here's one of our monkeys just right now. You want to be in the video? Okay.
Can we say hi?
This is our youngest, Olivia. Say hi. No? Okay. So we wanted our Christian faith to be able to be part of our education. Something that we worked into how we educate our kids and to be able to expose them to the Christian faith as part of their education. So, hey, monkey. So that was a big thing for us.
And going along with that is being able to not just teach them about the Christian faith, but teach them history through a Christian worldview.
Yeah.
And
we've been able to do a lot of your curriculum that you've used incorporates some of that kind of stuff.
Right. Yep.
Takes Bible stories and teaches them history through Bible stories.
Right. Please don't do that. So one of the other reasons that we've continued homeschooling is there's a lot of freedom in homeschooling and a lot of freedom in the schedule of your homeschooling. It's okay to take sick days. It's okay to take a day off, a mommy mental health day, or because grandma needs help with something. It's okay to take a couple of days off for vacation, and you're not going to fall behind because you can just make that up when you're ready.
Well, one of the things that we had just this last week was we were coming up to the end of the school year, and the kids thought that they needed to be done.
Yep.
So they finished the rest of their school.
Yep.
They had, I think, 2 days left.
Yep.
And they did it in 1 day.
Yep.
And there's freedom in that.
Right.
So, you're just a crazy monkey, aren't you? You're one of the monkeys we're trying to mold. So another aspect is that we wanted to
Stop.
we wanted to do expose them to different ages. We didn't want them to just grow up in a herd of kids their own age and be educated in just only their own age. We wanted them to be able to learn with their younger siblings like this, to be able to learn with our younger siblings, learn from their older siblings, learn to talk to adults, learn to be able to engage with different people. So our kids are starting to be just as comfortable talking to kids their own age as adults, and we wanted that to be part of their education. When we go to the library, the kids are just as comfortable talking to the kids their own age as they are talking to librarians. They'll talk the librarians' ears off.
Yes.
So that's a little bit of why we continued to homeschool. So subscribe to the channel. Check out more videos. We're going to be coming out with more content, probably content interrupted by little ones.
This is a glimpse into my homeschool day.
Yeah. Well, that's
this is real life.
It's totally real life. So we'd love to have you subscribe. Hit that bell for notifications so you know when we have more videos coming out. We're excited to keep producing some of this content, and maybe it's something you want to start this journey on too. If you got questions about homeschooling, throw them in the comments. We'd love to hear about why you have continued to homeschool, because maybe you have some of the same reasons. Mm-hmm. Maybe you've got some completely different reasons, and we can maybe learn from you as well. So continue to watch the videos, subscribe, and we will see you later.